Well, let me say good evening to you. Hope in the midst of a very cold, rainy, and drizzly day that you yet still had a good day. There are those who are much less fortunate than those of us who will be coming on here. They don't have internet to watch. They don't have televisions to view on whatever channel they feel like it. They don't have the luxuries that many of us just kind of look at and say, we get so used to certain things being a certain way, and the comforts and the conveniences that we have sometimes are absolutely amazing at how many times we really don't look to see how blessed we really are, and how God has blessed us and provided for us in so many unbelievable ways. And so many times we just gripe our way through and forget just how good God actually is. Gina, I see you. Mary, Rita, I see you as you are coming on board. I'm looking to see where it's at on my page. Nancy, good to see you. Brandon, good to have you with us on this evening. I should have switched, but I'm going to leave it just like it is because everything is just fine. Angela, how are you this evening? Michelle, how you doing? Okay, good to see you. Sharon, good to have you on board. Denise, good to see you this evening. Gina, let me see who else we got. William, how are you, sir? Again, we're going to just wait a couple of minutes. Normally this is our midweek time, and I normally have a half hour, 40 minutes of lesson that I normally share, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to just give you a little Wednesday spiritual pick-me-up. That's what I'm going to do. Minister Sarah, good to see you coming on board at this time. Carlotta Williams, how are you this evening? Pray that all is well. Belinda, good to see you. Hey, Sherry, how are you this evening? Just blessed to an unbelievable magnitude. Good evening, Sharon. Good to have you with us. Good to see you with us on this evening. Raymond Lavernon, good to have you on. I should just switch this out. A little low on volume. Okay, let me take a look at this then, because it should be about where it should be. Let me take a look here, just to double check, just to make sure, to see if there's something that I can do about that. And I think that might help you out a little bit. That might be just a little bit better. Catherine, how are you? Nicole, good to see you. Good to see those who are coming on board to share with us on this evening. Good. Well, you should have 1 billion steps if you've been cooking, because you know you got to walk from here to there to there to here and all that other kind of stuff. Sylvia Scott, good to see you this evening. Good to have Myrna. I see you coming on board. Good. Let me see, what time is it? I got 2 minutes. That way it gives everybody an opportunity to get on, and then we'll be able to share with you on this evening. Good evening, Jaleesa. Let me also say good evening to those of you who are watching on the website or you're watching on YouTube. We want you to know that we appreciate you as well, and we're grateful to God for you coming and sharing with us on tonight. Mary, all the way from the Natty, good to see you and have you with us this evening. I know that for some, Thea, I know for some, this is a cooking time. This is a preparation time, and I'm not going to keep you long because I need to just share this little bit with you and then go from there. Denise, good to see you this evening. Good to see you. As soon as this thing says 6:30, I'm running with it. Okay, I'm running with it. All right, it is 6:30. Have you ever noticed? And I'm not even talking about in this time of COVID. Katrina Williams, how are you this evening? Marion, Alicia, good to see you. Cecile, good to see y'all coming on board. Mama Nan Williams, good to have you with us on tonight. Have you ever noticed that many times fear seems to take control of our lives? It seems to take control of everything we do. It causes us to be hesitant. Stephanie, good to see you. Pamela, good to have you. Christine Thomas, hey, how is you? How is you this evening? Listen, fear is detrimental. Elder Tyrone, good to see you this evening. Janet, fear can paralyze you. Fear can keep you from moving forward. Fear, Gladys, will cause you to stay stuck right where you are and never move 1 inch further. Fear is detrimental. Fear is crippling. Fear can cause you to miss out on opportunities for the rest of your life. Fear can cause you to say life is not worth living and that being around isn't worth anything. Lavon, good to see you this evening. Janet, good to see you this evening. And so I wanted to address that. As you know, we're in a pandemic season. As you know, before the pandemic showed up, there are those who have been so abused and misused and taken advantage of that they're afraid to live, and they live their life so short of their capability. They live their life so short of their God-given ability. They live their life so beneath what God created them to be, and then the enemy comes along and he provides reinforcement. Lady Harrison, how are you this evening? He turns around and he convinces you that this is where you need to stay. You don't need to go any further. There's nothing else you need to do. You need to remain where you are. And even though God is saying, I have some other things I want you to do, I have some other things that I need you to accomplish, because you've been paralyzed by fear, because fear has taken such a dynamic hold on your existence that you actually don't even realize that you're stagnant. Minister Faye, how are you? Arlen, did I get that right? Good to see you. Tom, good to see you. And all of this, Michaela, good to have you with us on this evening. Fear can cause you to live and not live. You can be functional. You can do things. You can greet people. But fear has a way of taking so much of a control of your life until there's things that you could do or should do and you won't do. I'll tell this story. I'll tell this story. It's a true thing. It was the very first time that I had flown. I had never flown before, and because I had never flown, I was actually terrified. I didn't understand that the plane had to bank. If you've driven all of your life and that's all you know how to do is drive, you have no clue what a plane needs to do in order for it to maneuver through the sky. And so Me, I'm by the window. I'm by the window, and all of a sudden this thing banks, and Lady Harrison is sitting next to me, and of course I'm a man. I'm a man, and so Maria, I'm not going to let my fear be known. Although the armrest knew I was scared, because I'm pretty sure if I were to go back to that plane, my hand grip basically not only bent the metal, but probably tore some of the cloth up as well, Sister Thomas, because it really it terrified me. It terrified me. I didn't know what to do, and we got to where we were going, Laverne, and when we got there, all was well until, and I shall never forget this as long as I live. The plane that crashed in Pittsburgh. The mechanism in the tail caused the plane to flip over, and it crashed. And I think we were in Texas, and I had made it up in my mind. I'm like, I'm not flying back. There ain't no way. I said, I'll rent a car and I will drive back. Of course, Lady Harrison was looking at me, like I had lost my mind, like I was crazy. And she basically, let me know, you can go ahead and drive back if you want to. You'll be driving by yourself, because when the convention is over with, I'm getting on the plane, and I'll see you when you get there. Well, not to be embarrassed or anything like that. After the event was over with, but let me tell you what happened. I hope you're listening to me, because you need to understand the power of fear. You need to understand how fear can place scenarios in your mind that have not even taken place. And so I couldn't sleep well. All of these other things were going on, Maria, and all I could see during the day, Debbie, all I could see is crashing. And of course it was on the news, and you see all of the wreckage, and you see the body bags and all. And so then the enemy begins to play tricks with you and said, if it happened to them, it's also going to happen to you. And in the midst of that, by the time it was time for us to get ready to board that plane, I was just, I don't even know what I was. I was emotionally distraught. I didn't know what to do. I was scared to death. Of course, I wasn't going to let my wife know that I was scared, because I'm a man. You know how we do as men. This is what we do. We man up even though we're scared to death. And so we get on that plane, and I'm praying, and I'm talking to the Lord, and because I have had no experience in flying, because I did not understand the mechanical activities that take place when a plane takes off and lands and banks and all of those different things. I was absolutely terrified the whole trip. And so I said to myself, no, I ain't never getting on another plane again, never going to do it. And then it came time to go someplace else, and I had to do an evaluation. I hope y'all with me so far. I had to do an evaluation. The evaluation was, how many hours does it take for me to drive? Juxtapose getting on that plane and letting that plane get me there in a couple of hours. How tired will I be? What will be the expense that I will have to endure? What will be the amount of time? How much longer will I have to make this trip, due to the fact that it will take a whole lot longer to get there than to just go ahead and get on the plane? And then, because of who I am, Herma, I began to do some research, and I found out different things about the plane, and the noises the plane makes, and why the plane makes that noise, and why there's shudderings from time to time. Why does the plane drop? I began to understand that planes don't maneuver well through clouds, and when they go through clouds, they drop because of the atmospheric pressure that changes in the ability of the turbines to function in the midst of a cloudy situation. I had to do some research, and in the midst of doing the research, I come to find out some things, that being in that plane, Lee, is even safer than being in a car. And here's the thing that I had to learn how to do, Rita. I had to learn how to trust somebody other than myself. Okay, y'all really ain't ready for what I just said. I had to learn because see, I had become so confident in my abilities. I had become so confident in my capabilities. I was so confident in the midst of the things that I knew I could do. I had to learn how to place my life. I had to learn how to place my future. I had to learn, Brandon, how to place my destination into the hands of someone that I've never known, never met, have no relationship with in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And Lisa, what I had to learn how to do is trust a stranger. Someone who I have not a clue whether they even have the ability to fly the plane or not. But then I had to trust the company that hired the pilot, that the company has gone through whatever rigid requirements are necessary in order for this person to pilot the plane. And then I had to do some research because not everybody can pilot every plane. People are trained on certain planes to be able to fly. And then after I began to do my research and I began to recognize who's really in control, before the plane even takes off, good, I'm knocked out, I'm asleep, I'm enjoying myself, I'm relaxing, it bounces around, it does all kind of things, doesn't faze me a bit. Why? Because there's some things I had to learn. There's some moments in my life when I have to no longer be dependent upon my capabilities or my skill sets. I have to learn how to trust somebody else. I had to learn how to not be so confident in myself that when I enter into something that is beyond me, beyond the scope of my intellect, beyond the training that I've had, I have to trust that the person who is handling this machine knows exactly what they're doing. And so this is where Psalm 27 becomes so overwhelmingly important, because I just wanted to share, Barbara, just a little something with you, because David wants us to understand that out of all that we are and all that we've accomplished, the Lord is our light and our salvation. And guess what? Because he is the light and our salvation, there's nobody we need to fear. But he says a couple of things. He says, though an army may encamp against me, he says, my heart will not fear. See, here's what you've got to learn how to do. This is what you have to learn how to deal with is, it's not that I don't see the enemy. It's not that I don't see the attack. It's not that I don't see what's actually taking place. But I have to remember, Verna, that my trust, Davida, is in someone who is greater than me. And that for some of us is a difficult thing for us to grasp and to understand, Earlene, because we sometimes, through life's experiences, ups, downs, ins, outs, abandonment, misuse, and abuse, we become overwhelmingly independent. We become so independent. We learn new ways of channeling and managing and going through storms and issues and trials, and even in the midst of all of the things that we condition ourselves to become accustomed to. The problem with the conditioning is it also is conditioning something else. It decreases sensitivity. It decreases ability. It decreases, Rolanda and Rebecca, our trust in other people, because of the issues that have happened and come into our lives. We now become so self-reliant until we no longer are willing to trust anybody else. But the psalmist said that even when an army raises up against me individually, my heart will not fear. Why? Why is it that my heart will not fear when I'm outnumbered, Minister Michael? Why is it that I can just relax and chill out and everything will be all right when I know I'm outnumbered? The reason I can do it is because the Lord is with me. The Lord has proven himself. And can we talk about that for just a second, because I'm not going to keep you much longer. Have you ever noticed that Satan never plays fair? He always comes out with a large multiplicity of people to come and issues to come and different things to come out against you. And the reason that he does it is so that you panic, that you lose your mind, that you'll say, oh Lord, I can't do this. And the truth of the matter is, you can't. You can't do it. You don't have the intellect, the ingenuity. You don't have the skill sets. You don't have the weaponry Are y'all with me? I just want to see if y'all with me to be able to win the battle. But you also got to remember it's not yours anyway. It never was yours. It never shall be. And so the psalmist is very clear. He says, for in the time of trouble, he'll hide me. Wait a minute. Wait. Y'all didn't catch that. In the time of trouble, he'll hide. In the time when the enemy thinks he's got me, that's when he'll cause me to disappear. Oh, but there's something that I want to get to, and I'm going to skip through all of this. I said I wasn't going to do this. I got just a couple of minutes to go, and then I'm going to let you go because this is just a snippet. This is just a little something to encourage you. Okay? It says, he said, I would have lost heart unless I had believed. Then I would see the goodness of the Lord. See, I can't see God's goodness until I get past what I see. Are y'all with me with this? I have to stop looking at what I see. What's the object that's eclipsing my progress? I got to get past what that is so that I can see the goodness of the Lord. Now, somebody might say, well, where is the goodness of the Lord at? I'm glad that you asked me that. The goodness of the Lord is in God's ability to remind you of what you went through before and how you were victorious with that, even when fear came along to bother you. You got to think about this. You got to think about this. You got to think about this for just a moment. This ain't your first time getting scared. This isn't your first time being overwhelmed. This isn't your first time being broke. This isn't your first time being destitute. This isn't your first time that you tried to figure something out and every single thing you tried to do blew up in your face. This isn't the first time. This isn't the first time, Robin, that you've gone through isolation and mistrust and abuse and all. It's not the first time, but in the midst of it, you've still been kept. You've still been restored. You've still been renewed. And so this is what you've got to recognize. He said, even if folks start lying on you, just chill out. You don't have to defend your reputation. All you got to do is just live. All you got to do is trust me. He says, because number one, this isn't your battle. This isn't for you to fight. Okay? And then when you do this, then I can see the goodness of the Lord. And he ain't talking about when you get to heaven. He's talking about you get to see the goodness of the Lord while you're living. But this is what I want to say. And then I'm going to get off of here. But wait on the Lord. Be of good. See, okay, here we go. Wait, Dr. Barber. Wait like a waiter. Wait on the Lord. Wait on God. Wait on the Lord. Because see, if I am serving the Lord, I don't have time to pay attention to the obstacles anymore because my focus and my focal point is no longer on the obstruction. But my focus, Carolyn, is on the one who's removed all the other obstructions that tried to block me from my progress. Do I have anybody? Do I have anybody out here? Do I have anybody out here that's catching what I'm saying? I can be of good cheer, of courage, because I'm waiting on the Lord. I can calm my nerves because I'm waiting on the Lord. Latanya, I can stay under control because I'm waiting on the Lord. Bonnie, how are you? I can live life in the midst of tumultuous hurricane, typhoon situations because I've learned how to wait on the Lord. And guess what he'll do? He'll strengthen your heart. He'll strengthen the inner man because many of the things that we do and the way we react to things come from the heart. It comes from the inner person. And that's what we got to remember. Sometimes you've got to learn how to chill out. Oh, bless his name. Sometimes you've got to learn how to take it easy. Sometimes you've got to understand that waiting on the Lord changes your timetable. Waiting on the Lord changes the time that God gives you victory because we want it now. We want it instantaneously. But Tammy, there are some things that God sends you through a process of time so that the process can be tested by you. So when the next test shows up. You won't have to ask God, will he bring you out? You will have a litany of experiences, Gail, that you recognize that only God has brought you through. And Viola, you will no longer have to question him. Here's what you will do. You will stop saying, Lord, can I? Lord, is this? Angela, you'll stop doing those things and you'll start blessing him in the midst of it, because if he has brought you through a plethora of other crazy experiences, he is God enough to bring you through this. And let me add, how much time? Let me add one more piece to this, if you don't mind, because I think somebody needs to get this. I don't know who this is for. I don't know what's going on. But here's what you got to remember. 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 God does not just live in your present trauma. Don't worry about it, Bonnie. Watch God work. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? God does not exist in just your present trauma, because it was God that brought you through your past trauma, and God already knows the magnitude of your future trauma, which means that the enemy meant it for evil. God, Erica, gets in the midst of it and turns it around for good. Nina, did you catch that? Gail, did you catch that? Bonnie, did you catch that? Did you catch that? Only God can get in the midst of unexpected chaos, self-created chaos, madness that comes from everywhere, gets in the middle of it and teaches you how to stop paying attention to it and notice who is able to bring you through it. Give you the story real quick. Give you the story real quick. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. You know, I'm just trying to teach the Bible. That's all I'm trying to do. You remember when the storm was raging and it was Peter said, and you know, in the King James version it says, if it's you, but in the original Greek Peter says, since it's you. Oh yeah, y'all will catch that in a minute. Since it's you, let me come on out on the water. It's not that Peter did not recognize who he was. Constance, here's what happened. He says, since it's you, let me come out on the water. And the Bible says Jesus said to him, come on out here. Come on. I'm waiting on you anyway. Here's the thing that many of us need to understand, is that God will strategically place himself in a position to be observed by you so you can come to where he is, because the blessing is not in so much Jesus coming to you as much as it is you coming to him. Y'all will catch that one later. And so as long as Peter's focus was waiting on the Lord, Peter was fine. But as soon as he changed his focus, he began to sink. And in the midst of his sinking, he had the sense to cry out, Lord, have mercy on me. And the Bible says that Jesus caught him by the hand. Now, and I've taught this and I've preached this a multiplicity of times. The storm is still raging. The lightning is still flashing. The rain is still beating down on the boat. Everything is still chaotic. And the storm does not subside until Jesus and Peter get on the boat. Oh, God, help me. Which means sometimes some storms are going to rage until you understand the perpetuity behind it that places you in a position to trust him when you have nobody else to trust. The text says that what happened was, as soon as Jesus and Peter's feet got in the boat, the storm stopped. Now, what was that all about? It was teaching two groups of people something. That's why, Carolyn Johnson, you got to be careful how you go through your storms, because you don't know who's watching you go through it. Let me say that one more time. You got to be careful how you go through your storms, because you may not know who's watching how you go through it. Everybody is focused on Peter and Jesus. Everybody's looking at Peter out on the water, walking on the water. Ain't none of the rest of them trying to do what Peter did. They noticed where Peter was. They noticed where Peter went. They noticed who Peter went to. They also noticed Peter's failure. And in the midst of the failure, the disciples that are still in the boat, that's still reeling and rocking, are recognizing that there is a power greater than them, because when the two of them got back in the boat, the storm stopped. Now let me help you. I'm about ready to shout on this one. The storm started when all of them were on the boat. Jesus did not steal the storm as he walked through the storm. The storm didn't stop until the mission was accomplished. The mission was to teach Peter who Jesus was. The mission was to teach the disciples who Jesus was. Everything that ever happens in your life, every moment of trial, every up, every down, every in, every out that goes on in your life is a twofold lesson. One is for you. The second one is for the people that's watching. And I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've gone through. I don't care what you've experienced. Somebody watching how you go through it. Somebody is watching whether you're going to cuss somebody out or not. Somebody's going to watch whether you're going to quit. Somebody's watching to see if you give up. Somebody is watching to see how well you're going to handle it. And in the midst of it, the storm don't stop till the mission is accomplished. The mission was for Jesus to walk the water, to touch Peter's life, to challenge Peter's faith, to walk in the midst of failing, to be picked up by Jesus, in the midst of failing, to be picked up in the midst of failing, to be picked up by Jesus. The two of them, Pastor Stanford, the two of them go back to the ship while the storm is raging. When both of them stepped in the ship, storm stopped. They wait on the Lord. Be of good courage. He will strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. That's all I wanted to share with you. Just a little, just a little snippet, just a little something to just try to help you out a little bit as we go through these moments, as we go through the isolation, as we go through all of this stuff that's taking place, that's happening in life, to let you know that the word of the Lord is true. 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 It can be trusted even when you can't be trusted. Listen, I want y'all to have a tremendous evening. I want to say happy Thanksgiving. You saw Lady Harrison was on there a little earlier saying happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll do a little something for Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm not sure whether I'm going to come on or not. But I'll let you know far enough in advance. However, the Lord leads. But listen, we want you to know, and we say this all the time, and it's not a cliche. It's not something that we make up because it sounds good. It's because it's really in our heart. I love you. I love you from the depths of my soul. I thank God for each and every one of you. I never take for granted the trust that you have in me to be able to impart spiritual nuggets of information that will enable you to live the life that God has created you to live, so that you can bear much fruit, that your tree is a tree that others want to sit under and be refreshed, rejuvenated, and restored. because of who you are in Jesus Christ. Y'all have a good evening. May God bless you. May he keep you, is our prayer.